system of an automobile is concerned, that I am going to deal now. Some mathematical things are there. This is the distance which is moved by the piston. This is your push rod. And this is your piston, this is your push rod. So, force F1 is being applied over here at the paddle, and Y1 is the distance for the force. So, this is the action of the braking system, hydraulic braking system. When the force is being applied, then the movement takes place, and accordingly the plunger moves forward. So some mathematical points are there. This is the fulcrum. This is the distance moved by the paddle. Okay. So I can write F1 Y1 is equal to F2 Y2. That is the distance from the fulcrum previously and afterward. Therefore, F2 can be written as F1 Y1 upon Y2. Also, X2 upon X1 can be written as Y1 upon Y2. Okay? Just principle of lever, that is the force applied, F1, and the pedal, and the distance moved, Y1, is equal to F2 into Y2. That is the force which is moving here into Y2, the distance. So, this is the simple lever principle. Now, suppose if we have got 3 cylinders of different area. Then we have got 3 cylinders. Okay, this is your paddle on which the force is being applied. Okay, these are the three cylinders, and oil is, it is all filled with the brake oils. Of course, one thing I am missing over here, and that is your master cylinder. Master cylinder is here. Something missing, just wait. The place of master cylinder is not here, it is here. These are the three cylinders, and master cylinder is here, on which pressure is applied, guided pressure is applied. Okay, this is your master cylinder. This is guided pressure. These are the three cylinders on which the have got different areas. That is 0.5 into 10 to the power 5 mm square, 1 into 10 to the power 5 mm square, 2 into 10 to the power 5 mm square. These three cylinders are there, and their areas are separate. Now, as per the Pascal law, whatever the pressure is being applied over here at the paddle, same is transmitted to all the three cylinders. As per Pascal law, all the cylinders are bearing the same pressure when we press the paddle. So, I can write it. I am going to rub it out. I can write it. F1 is equal to 4 Newton, Y1 is equal to 50 centimeter, then Y2 is equal to 10 centimeter, that is your Y2, okay, and that is your Y1. Okay, I think now it is very clear. When we are pressing the pedal, so all the three cylinders have got different cross-sectional area, and so the pressure exerted, all the three are different. This is all filled with the brake oil. So now applying the Pascal law, that is force on first one, F1, that is your 4 Newton. Area is given 0.5 into 10 to the power 5 millimeter square, mm square. Then F2 is equal to F1 Y1 upon Y2, that is 4 into 50 upon 10, and that comes out to be 20 Newton. Okay, that was on the first cylinder. Okay, F1 was your 4 Newton force. Then this is set up pressure. This set up a pressure 20 upon 10 to the power 5, that is equal to 2 into 10 to the power minus 4 Newton mm square. Okay. F2 force that is coming on the piston, that force is equal to F1 into Y1 upon Y2. F1 we have taken 4 Newton force which is being applied over here from the pedal. So F2 is given by this. This setup is equal to pressure setup pressure equal to 20 upon 10 power 5, that is 2 into 10 power minus 4. Therefore, cylinder 1 P1 2 into 10 power minus 4 into 0.5 into 10 power 5, that is 10 Newton for cylinder 1. Okay, 2 into 10 power minus 4, that is the setup pressure, and area is 0.5 into 10 power minus 10 power 5. That total pressure on the cylinder is 10 Newton. Now, similarly for cylinder 2, cylinder number 2, pressure P2, 2 into 10 power minus 4 into 1 into 10 power 5, and that is equal to 20 Newton. Okay, first one was 10 Newton, second cylinder, that is 20 Newton. Then cylinder number 3, and in that case P3 is equal to 2 into 10 power minus 4 into 2 into 10 power 5, that will give you 40 Newton. Okay, so you just see the pressure, the force which is being coming, pressure which is coming on the different cylinder is, that is proportional to the area of the cylinder. I have taken 4 Newton force which is being applied on the paddle. Then on the cylinder number 1, 0.5 into 10 power 5 Newton mm square, that was the area. So the force which was being created, pressure which was created was that 10 Newton. Okay. Then on the second cylinder, that the force pressure was created was 20 Newton, and on the third cylinder the pressure created was 40 Newton. So you can see that for the same force which is being applied on the paddle, the pressure transmitted to different sides of cylinder is different. Okay, this is as per Pascal law. This is what I have taken because just to tell you how the Pascal law works. Then braking efficiency. I think it is clear. Braking efficiency and stopping distance. And stopping distance. Okay. Now this is the braking wheel. Okay. Force which is acting, braking force. W is the weight which is acting downward. Okay. Then F is equal to mu into W, where mu is the coefficient of friction between the road surface and the tire. Okay. So the coefficient of friction changes any variation of the condition of the surface. Mu varies with the condition of the surface. Suppose if it is dry weather, then the value of mu will be more. If it is wet weather, rainy season, mu will decrease. That suppose mu was 0.8 when it was dry weather. Then mu becomes 0.5 when it is wet. Then the third one, suppose the ice is there, then mu becomes 0.125 ice. Okay. So the value of mu varies with the surface on which road surface. Okay. Then we can say the friction force F braking effort applied to slow down or stop the vehicle. F is the frictional force which is being applied at the pedal. Okay. F is frictional force applied at the पैडल ओके पैडल पर हम फ्रिक्शन फोर्स एफ अप्लाई कर रहे हैं देन काइनेटिक एनर्जी इज गिवन बाय हाफ W by G into V square. V is the velocity, linear velocity of the wheel. Okay, V is the linear velocity. Okay, then kinetic energy is given by half W by G V square. Now this kinetic energy, that is the force which is being applied and the distance traveled, that is F into S. S is the distance traveled when you apply the brake. So this is going to be half W by G V square, or F is given that mu W, so U into W into S, that is given by W by G V square. W W कट जाएगा. Okay, so the distance which will be traveled V square upon 2G mu, or if the efficiency of braking is known, then that will be equal to V square 2 mu G braking efficiency. Okay, so the distance traveled by the wheel when the braking force is applied, that is the kinetic energy which is being created, half mv square, you know it very well, and that is equal to the force which is being applied, that is the distance traveled into force. Now this F, that is mu into W. So putting all those values, we can say that the distance traveled S by the braking system can be given by this formula. Now, if the efficiency of the braking system is known, so we can say that distance traveled will be V square upon 2 mu G and beta into braking system. Beta into multiplied by beta, that is the efficiency of the braking system. Now, braking efficiency is defined as the, now what is braking efficiency? Braking efficiency beta F upon W. Okay, that is V square upon 2G into S. ठीक है, W की वैल्यू हमने निकाला है, F तो आपका हो गया म्यू इंटू W, और W हो गया आपका हाफ एम वी स्क्वायर से निकाल दिया हमने. S की वैल्यू अभी हमने निकाला पहले, अभी इसके पहले जस्ट अभी हमने लिखा था S इज इक्वल टू V square upon 2G into mu. Okay, 2G into mu into braking efficiency. So braking efficiency will be given by V square upon 2G into S. Of course, if you take mu is equal to 1, okay, then beta is proportional to mu when F is equal to mu into W. Okay, the braking efficiency of 100% can be achieved when mu is equal to 1. 100% का efficiency होगी, 100% efficiency when mu is equal to 1, which is practically not possible because roads have got their frictional effect. So, okay, variety of roads are there, friction will always be there. So 100% efficiency practically it is not possible. Braking efficiency mu when mu is equal to 1, then 100% efficiency. The effective braking mu should be high for factor affecting this value. I am giving you a table in which I will show you the value of mu of at different type of roads, different type of surface. That is surface. Dry concrete, dry concrete. Then wet concrete. Then wet paving. Then dry clean paving. Then muddy. कीचड़ हो क्या? Okay. Then snow. बर्फ जमा हो गया, आइस वगैरह हो, या स्नो और आइस में फर्क होता है, और तीसरा आइस. ओके. तो म्यू की वैल्यू जो है वो हर एक में वेरी करती रहती है. म्यू जो अगर बहुत रफ सरफेस है तो म्यू की वैल्यू बहुत ज़्यादा होगी. अगर थोड़ा प्लेन सरफेस है तो म्यू की वैल्यू घटती चली जाएगी. अगर आइसी है, आइस वगैरह जमा हुआ है, तो म्यू की वैल्यू बहुत कम हो जाएगी. तो वी कैन राइट फॉर ड्राई कंक्रीट 0.92, फॉर वेट कंक्रीट 0.6, wet paving 0.7, dry clean paving 0.82, then muddy कीचड़ वगैरह अगर है 0.35, then snow 0.25, ice 0.125. You see, the value is going on decreasing. Here it is maximum. Of course, wet concrete has got lesser value because it is wet. Wet paving रास्ता 0.7, ड्राई कंक्रीट अगर है तो वहाँ पर रिजेक्शन ज़्यादा होगा. मडी है 0.35, स्नो है 0.25, आइस है तो 0.125, वेरी लेस. So in that way, the value of mu depend upon the road construction, what type of road is there. Then comes break effectiveness. What is break effectiveness? I think it is clear now. That is the surface of the road. That is very important. Surface of the road, whether it is concrete, whether it is wet concrete, whether it is wet paving, whether it is dry clean paving, whether it is muddy, snow or ice, like that. So it depends upon the type of the surface on which the value coefficient of friction depends. Next become braking effectiveness. What is braking effectiveness? Okay. It is the capability of the braking system to change a given pedal force or brake line pressure into a retarding force acting between the tire and the road. Okay. Should I write it? That it is the capability of the braking system. Note it down. It is the capability of the braking system to change a given pedal force to change a given pedal force or braking line pressure or braking line pressure into a retarding force acting between the tire and the road. Acting between the tire and road. Okay? तो braking effectiveness क्या होता है? It is the capacity of the braking system to change a given pedal force or braking line pressure into a retarding force acting between the tire and road. That is retarding force between the tire and the road. When you apply the brake, it is being transmitted to the wheel and that depends, the pressure depends, force acting between the tire and road. Okay? So, this is called your braking effectiveness. Now the next, weight transfer. How the weight is being transferred. Weight transfer. When you apply the brake, the weight is being transferred to the front wheel. This is the CG, center of gravity of the vehicle, and this is the distance of the center of gravity from the bottom. Okay? Then we can say that here and here, both, this is the front wheel, this is the rear wheel. So, W1, that is, if the weight is W, then W plus R, that is, R is the reaction force, and W2, I can say W1 suppose, and W2 minus R, okay, where R is the reaction force, and that is the road surface. Okay, so what happens? When brake is being applied inertia force, then a couple is being generated. Here this force is going through this and R reaction comes through this R. Okay? So couple is being generated between the inertia force and the reaction, and the weight transfer takes place from rear wheel to front wheel. So front wheel braking should be more stronger than the rear wheel. Then inertia force, suppose inertia force is equal to W by G into alpha, overturning couple, W by G alpha into H, where H is the height of the center of gravity from the road surface. Then this is the couple which is being applied when the braking is being applied on the wheel. So, weight on the front wheel, weight on the front wheel will be given by W1 plus R, and weight on the rear wheel is given by W2 minus R. Okay? So more weight is being transferred on the front wheel than on the rear wheel. Obviously, a fraction of brachial weight is transferred from the front wheel to rear wheel. Due to this phenomena of weight transfer, braking effect has to be more at the front wheel and for the efficiency of the brake. Analysis shows that 75% of the total braking effect on the front wheel gives optimum efficiency. Now we are dealing with the efficiency of the braking system. When the load is being transferred from the rear wheel to front wheel, the load at the front wheel increases while the load at the rear wheel decreases. So, more effective braking system should be there for the front wheel because extra load is coming over here, and practically it has been observed that it should be 60 to 70% more braking effort than here 40 to 50%. Okay, so braking effort, braking load braking should be more stronger at this side than on the rear wheel because of the weight transfer from the rear wheel to the front wheel. Next, weight transfer braking and braking ratio. I think it is clear. Weight transfer during braking and braking ratio. This is a rough picture of a vehicle traveling on the road. I have made it. Okay. CG is somewhere here. So W weight will work always towards downward, and inertia force will always be here. Okay. This is the distance between the two wheels, that is L length. Okay. This is your braking dip. Braking dip. And CG overturning. This is overturning couple. Overturning couple. Okay. Inertia force is applied. So braking dip takes place. The whole of the weight is being transferred to the front side. Then W1 plus W coming over here, and W2 minus W is reducing over there. So weight on the rear, this is the weight on the front wheel, weight on the front wheel, and this is weight on the rear wheel. Okay, different, both are different. So I will dictate something. When the wheels are braked, there is change in the distribution of the weight between the rear and front wheel. Of course, you are seeing from here. There is change in the distribution of the load. This change of weight from rear wheel to front wheel is proportional to the rate of deceleration. Okay. गाड़ी कितनी देर में जाके रुक रही है उसके ऊपर डिपेंड करता है कितना वेट ट्रांसफर हो रहा है। Inertia force is acting at CG and retarding force acting at the road and wheel surface form an overturning couple. Retarding force over here, R, okay, R. So a couple is being formed, inertia force and retarding force. This overturning tendency increases weight on the front wheel and decreases on the amount of the rear wheel. The phenomena is well displayed when the sudden braking is applied. जब पैसेंजर्स क्या होता है, जब सडनली आप ब्रेकिंग लगाते हो तो क्या होता है, पैसेंजर जो बैठे हुए हैं वो आगे की तरफ झुक जाते हैं, है ना। पहले सीधे बैठे हुए अगर पैसेंजर तो वो आगे की तरफ झुक जाते हैं जब ब्रेकिंग अप्लाई किया जाता है ना, सडनली जब ब्रेकिंग अप्लाई किया जाता है। Thus the braking dip causes some weight transfer on the front wheel. Of course, braking dip is there. About 12% of the vehicle weight is shifted to the front wheel. Okay? Now 12% of the braking weight, 12% of the vehicle weight is shifted to front wheel. Okay? For maximum retardation, so just few lines more. This is FR1. So we can see that FR is equal to FR1, FR2, FR3 and FR4. All the four wheels are having the reaction force. Okay? So FR into D, that is the distance traveled by the vehicle, half W by G V square. Already I have given this formula. And FR is equal to mu into R, mu into W, sorry, mu into W. So mu into W. So I am directly writing the value of D, half V square upon mu into G. Already I have derived this formula earlier. Okay, where efficiency braking efficiency is given by eta PR. Okay, that's all for today. Again, we will elaborate the mathematical analysis next time. This was completely mathematical analysis of the braking system. Thank you.